Is it the Thai bow? Thai bow is more boxing as roll. It's not really. Yeah. They stopped offering that in money. We're starting with the newest trend, Zumba. What day of the week is it? I did the Thai bow, the boxing aerobics. My trainer had us do this. So after the stressful week, 2 kids in school and homework, on that Friday morning, I felt, oh my God, I'm so drained of all my stress. It was really good. Yeah, but I mean, if you do it on Monday morning, that's like in preparation for it too. If you don't see your real chef. I love the Latin music anyway, Latin American music. And I don't, in my mind, I look exactly like our Cuban trainer, but I don't. It's just a lot of fun to get up and move. I really like that. It's much different than a regular aerobics class, because everything's, Oh, you do know it?
Yeah, but Maria doesn't. You know what
I'm missing it.
You know what I'm missing? Ideas. When you try to, in person, you say, oh, we're playing this game, but how does it work? How do you do this?
I know, I want to get more direct.
Sorry, I realized you didn't see us move. We thought we could see better. Especially if you're presenting.
We're going to take they take the money and then divide the money and give the money. We're going to take the money for our fundraising. Like you give them tickets, and one of our members entertainment of all the cruise ships, the head guy. And one of them is the head of and he is 2-3 times now. They all the ships are involved there, but we do it for a lot. They offer one time we did that, used that for a fundraiser, and like we have a cards together, and we all play together.
Well, we've done for a fundraiser. Do you know the dice game Bunko?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so nice.
That was great.
We've done Bunko. We have a room that we can there are 2 games running simultaneously, so 24 people. And it was just, I mean,
we do Scrabble.
Scrabble tournament.
We pay 5 or 6 tables, and each person has to pay to play.
Yeah, we had to play that
we did Scrabble. We did Scrabble. How many people did we have playing that tournament at that time? That was fun. Like 4 or 5 tables. But it was probably like 250.
Was it a game set up on the table and you just rotated around to
and we set up the table. We had a board on each table, and they played a game. And then the winner of the table would play the winner, and it came down to like the last one. So as you won, and then we had some prizes.
Yeah, I won dinner for 2. I won a dinner for 2.
Yeah, and we got some prizes already.
I want to do a gastronomical bingo. That's what I was talking about. Everybody brings in really nice, like a nice food prize, like a nice dish, and then the winner.
Let us open the floor now.
We will send you to the moon if you win.
Sorry to be heard, but we cannot hear all the stories. It's not possible in that 1-hour workshop, really. And just to give you some ideas how to work with it, because the idea was that you also get a tool if you want to work with stories. I mean, we could group this differently. We could make a structure like the continents, like stories from one continent, from another continent, or maybe you see other structures. So you could play with that and make different stories and have different people tell their stories. And we can choose differently now. I mean, we can like make a random choice now, and that's what we're going to do because we will not have time. But there are many possibilities how you can make a thread now and tell an overall story. So let me just start. I don't know much about FACO, but I think it's many things what I heard. So you have a lot of projects, maybe in third world countries. Maybe you have also projects for your own children or for yourself. And there are some things I don't even know what it is yet. So why don't we hear one of these? Yes, I think we can hear like 3 stories from the Thai. If you try to make it short, like a newsflash story, so you maybe don't tell all the details, but really focus. Let's choose one of these. So maybe this one.
Nice and fast.
Then we go down.
Such a hang
So I'm really going. Yes, okay. And maybe you can introduce the story owner. So pay respect
I
to the
would
story
like
owner.
to introduce to you Mary Adams from the Rotterdam Club. Very inspirational story Mary had. She was sitting at home, got onto her computer, went to the Falco site, as we all do, to see what the news is. She read about the 16-day campaign, Half the Sky. That motivated her to go out and get the book. Reading the book, at the end, she was very taken with the book, wanted to make a difference, went to the references at the very back, and Kiva.org is one of them, the microfinancing, a group with which she was already involved. But she got to thinking, how can I get my group involved? Mary actually became a conduit for the group who would like to get involved in making a difference in other people's lives by allowing them to join her group that she started called Anchor?
Team Anchor.
Team Anchor, of which she was nominated and elected as the captain of the ship. How exciting is that for Rotterdam? And this only happened last November. In December, she was approved. The first loan, the microloan of $25, went to help, and she has all these stories. She's already in her group, has made a difference for 15 different loans she's got out. And this is only in a matter of a couple of months, which I think is a terrific, inspiring story that Mary has to tell. And we can all take this home, and maybe some of us can start our own. Well, not even start our own. Mary's happy for us all to join Team Anchor. Well done, Mary.
Thank you for telling the story. Whose story is this?
Our story.
Please. Lori's story.
Our story is Fresh Growth, and it's a story by Sally Shabali. Shabali. So obviously language isn't my skill here. Sally has her inspiration. The reason we called it Fresh Growth is that she went to her first Falco conference in 2007 in Lyon, and Sally is a member of the AAWE group in Paris. And while she'd been a member of the club for 4 years, she had 2 teenage boys then, and I'm sure you can all understand with kids, you don't really want to leave your kids at home. But Lyon is pretty close to Paris, so Nan, is Nan here? Nan inspired Sally and said, you really should go. It's close, I mean, when you go. And when she went, she heard, like we have, Pam Perot spoke about our involvement and our membership as an NGO in the UN. You know, one of 3,000 NGOs, and that was just like a light bulb went off. And the fact that, wow, you know, we're not just a little silo in Paris doing our own things. You know, we're not just women who, ladies who lunch, but we're actually ladies who legislate. And I think that probably was the light you know, in the fresh growth. Her picture is flowers, and that's why we called it fresh growth, because it was like, you know, when a flower and the budding opens, and it just, Pam's talk about the UN and our involvement as an NGO just came on. And she came back so enthused, as we all did, or will hopefully, with the Falco fever, because it's, you know, it's so inspiring to hear how much we as an organization of women in today's world can do, with each club contributing a little bit to the big organization, and then that big organization, as with anything, goes out and does good things. At the time, the malaria nets was the program that they were doing, and it's like she said, you know, you think just your little coins that you collect and donate, and the good it was doing, and the people it was affecting, and the lives it was saving because of these nets that just your coins saved. And that it wouldn't have been possible without an organization like Falco. And she went home totally enthused, and then the next year, was it that you became president? And she, you know, tried to get more members involved and explain to them and get them enthused about it is part of a bigger picture, part of a bigger mothership. I know someone else has used it, you know, it's like the mothership. But, you know, as individual clubs, we won't ever be as powerful as we are as one big club altogether. And that's it, I think.
So maybe I take your word, you gave the word mothership. Shall we take this story? Whose story is this?
Well, it is not my story, but I am a storyteller. Go there. Okay.
You can give reverence to the story of there.
Exactly. Mothership is actually the story of Tamara Chand. She's from Paris, from the club in Paris. And my co-chair or co-listener is Liz Jansen, so from Munich. So the two of us were very kind listening to Tamara tell her story about mothership. And how it happened is that she was involved for many years in project in Nepal. She was very interested and continues still to be interested in working in the country. And she realized that through the discussion with a friend who was a former rep, that actually Falco could be something for her to be involved because it's now international and global, and she could go from very focused attention to one country to more global issues and more global perspective. So that's how she got pulled into it. And she realized that her attention and interest in protecting women, protecting children, which was part of the project that she has been involved in Nepal, made it all the more, you know, interesting for her to be part of that process. She saw Falco and friendship and the club engagement on issues as a really wonderful tool, as a way of communicating and also sharing, and of course impacting on lives of others, as a very you know, strong thing. And she said, it's as the mothership Falco, but actually I was going now to help the Earth. You know, planet Earth, which is, you know, it's a very interesting measure. If you think of it, the spaceship, you've all seen the Starship, you know, series. Yeah, so that she's been now in her mothership Falco and going around the world and helping planet Earth and all of us, hopefully, more specifically women and children, because that's the interest and focus that she has. However, she found the challenges are convincing your members that this global and international focus is really what we should be focusing on, because sometimes we have our social clubs and we enjoy having lunch and other things, and we don't think about contributing to this larger perspective, global and international. So it is bringing your clubs together on this issue and getting them to understand that benefits that you can create by joining together and contribute to, through your mothership, Falco, to the planet Earth and to other communities around the world. So that's the story of Tamara, and she's still going to Nepal on other projects and activities, but now she has a much larger perspective because of the Falco engagement, and I think she's wanting to make sure that her club continues to look at these global issues and is not so concerned so much with administrative things, but really the global issue at large. So that's the story of Tamara.
Thank you. I think that was a good closing story because we will really not have time for all the stories, but we see it here and maybe you can bring it back to your club or you can tell it at another event or write something down, take some pictures, so you can really work with these stories. This is, and what you told me about Falco now, about caring for each other, for the global issues, even for Mother Earth. I can take a lot out of the stories, like information, because sometimes maybe you have to dare to just tell a story, but the information is in there, and maybe people will remember the story, and with the story also the information, and you can always at the end give some more information with it. So thank you so much for sharing, and let me first, before we finish, also give some resources. I told you I wrote this story guide with Victoria Ward, we talked about from Spark Now some years ago, but it's still available, and it has very simple exercises similar as we did now. So if you want to experiment with it, please do so. I mean, you know, the worst thing can happen, people start talking, and you cannot make them shut up, or I don't know. But it really works, and it's really a nice tool to get people